Oh, hello everyone. I'm so pleased you could join me for chapter 4 of The Sheep Pig. And it is called Yum, a Polite Young Chap. After the last day of the puppies had left, the ducks heaved a general sigh of relief. They looked forward to a peaceful day and paid no attention when, the following morning, Fly and Babe came down to the pond and sat and watched them as they squatted and splattered in its soupy green depths. They knew that the old dog would not bother them, and they took no notice of the strange creature at her side. They'll come out and walk up the yard in a minute and Fly. Then you can have a go, fetching them back if you like. Oh, yes, please, said Babe excitedly. The collie bitch looked fondly at her foster child. Sheep pig, indeed, she thought. The idea of it. The mere sight of him would probably send the flock into the next country. Anyway, he'd never get near them on his little short legs. Let them play with the ducks for a day or two, and he'd forget all about it. When the ducks did come up out of the water and marched noisily past the piglet, she half expected him to chase them as the puppies usually did at first, but he sat very still, his ears cocked, watched her. All right, said Fly. Let's see how you get on. Now then, first thing is, you've got to get behind them, just like I have with the sheep. If the boss wants me to go round the side of them, that's the side by the stables there, he says, away to me. If he wants me to go round the left, that's the side by the Dutch barn, he says. Come by. Okay. Yes, Mum. Right, then, away to me. Babe, said Fly sharply. At this, not surprisingly, Babe's first efforts met with little success. There were no problems with getting round the ducks, even with his curious little seesawing canter. He was much faster than they, but the business of bringing the whole flock back to Fly was not. He found that all easy. Either he pressed them too hard and they broke up and fluttered all over the place, or he was just too gentle and held back and they waddled away in twos and threes. Come and have a rest, dear, called Fly after a while. Leave the silly things alone. They're not worth upsetting yourself about. I'm not upset, Mum, said Babe, just puzzled. I told them what I wanted them to do, but they didn't take any notice of me. Why not? Because you weren't born to it, thought Fly. You haven't got the instinct to dominate them, to make them do what you want. It's early days yet, Babe dear, she said. Do you suppose, said Babe, if I ask them politely? Ask them politely? What an idea! Just imagine me doing that with the sheep. Please, will you go through that gateway? Would you kindly walk through the pen? Oh no, dear. You'd never get anywhere that way. You've got to tell them what to do. Doesn't matter whether it's ducks or sheep. They're stupid and dogs are intelligent. That's what you have to remember. I'm a pig. Pigs are intelligent too, said Fly firmly. Ask them politely, she thought. Whatever next? What happened next? Later that morning, in fact, was the Babe met his first sheep. Farmer Hogger and Fly had been out round the flock, and when they returned, Fly was driving before her an old lame ewe, which they penned in the loose box where the piglet had originally been shut. Then they went away up the hill again. Babe made his way into the stables, curious to meet this, the first of the animals that he planned one day to work with. but he could not see into the box. He sniffled around the bottom of the box. He sniffled under the bottom of the door, and from inside there came a cough and a sharp stamp of the foot, and then the sound of a horse complaining twice. "Wolves! Wolves!" said. "They do never leave a body alone. Nag, 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 all day long. Go there, do this, do that. What do you want now? Can't you give us a bit of peace, Wolf?" "I'm not a wolf," said Babe under the door. "Oh, I know all that," said the sheep sourly. "Calls yourself a sheepdog. I know that, but you don't fool none of us. You're a wolf like the rest of 'em, given half the chance. You looks at us and you sees lamb chops. Go away, Wolf." And he scrambled up the stack of straw, Babe, and looked over the bars. "You'll see," he said. "Well, I'll be dipped," said the old sheep, peering at him. "No more you ain't. What are you?" "Pig," said Babe. "Large white. What are you?" "You," said the sheep. "No, not me. What are you?" "I'm a you." Mum was right, thought Babe. They certainly are stupid, but if I'm going to learn how to be a sheep pig, I must try to understand them, and this might be a good chance. Perhaps I could make a friend of this one. "My name is Babe," he said in a jolly voice. "What's yours?" "Ma," said the sheep. "Ma," said the sheep. "That's a nice name," said Babe. "What's the matter with you?" "Ma." "Foot rot," said Sheep, holding up a foreleg, "and I'll give you a nasty cough." She coughed, "and I'm not as young as I was." "You don't look very old to me," said Babe politely. A look of pleasure came over the sheep's mournful face, and she lay down in the straw. "Very civil of you to say so," she said. "First kind word I've ever had since I were a little lamb." And she belched loudly and began to chew a mouthful of cud. Though he did not quite know why, Babe said nothing to Fly of this conversation with Ma. Farmer Hogger had treated the sheep's foot and tipped a drench down its protesting throat, and now, as darkness fell, dog and pig lay side by side, their rest only occasionally disturbed by a rustling from the next door box. Having at last set eyes on the sheep, Babe's dreams were immediately filled with the creatures, all lame, all coughing, all like the ducks, scattering wildly before his attempts to round them up. "Go here, go there, do this, do that," he squeaked furiously at them. But they took a bit of notice until at last the dream turned into a nightmare, and then they came hopping and Babe slept soundly the rest of the night and woke up more determined than ever to learn all that he could from their new neighbour. As soon as Fly had gone out on her rounds, he climbed the straw stack. "Good morning, Ma," he said. "I do hope you're feeling better today." The old ewe looked up, her eyes, Babe was glad to see, looked neither mad nor hateful. "I must say," she said, "you're a polite young chap. Not like the wolf, shouting at me in the middle of the night. Never get no respect from they. Treat you like dirt, they do. Bite you as soon as you look at them. Do they really? Oh, nip your hocks if you're a bit slow. And worse, some of them. Worse? Oh, aren't you never heard of worrying?" "I don't worry much." "No, young un, I'm talking about sheep worrying. You'll get some wolves as as'll chase sheep and kill 'em." "Oh," said Babe, horrified. "I'm sure Fly would never do that." "Who's Fly?" "She's she's our dog here." The one that brought you in yesterday. Is that what she's called? No, she bain't a warrior, just rude. All wolves is rude to us sheep, see? Always have been. Bark and run, nip and call us stupid. We bain't all the stupid. We just get confused. If only they just show a bit of common politeness. Just treat us a bit of decent. Now, if you was to come out into the field, a nice, well-mannered young chap like you, and ask me to go somewhere or do something politely like you would, why, I'd only be delighted. Thanks, guys, for joining me for chapter 4. I look forward to you joining me next week for chapter 5. Take care, stay safe, bye.